Can you believe what's going on with Shirley Strawberry? She's locked in a crazy roller coaster with her husband's arrest and charges, and you won't believe the terrifying details she's spilling.
Sometimes when your friends or people you love are going through it and they start talking, sometimes they just want you to listen. They don't want your opinion.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Celeb Live channel. We're diving deep today into the whirlwind surrounding Shirley Strawberry, her husband's jaw-dropping arrest, and the shocking allegations that have followed. And the cherry on top, insiders are leaking the real scoop on Shirley's reactions, her attempts to distance herself from the scandal, and her surprise moves to free her husband despite all the damning accusations. Fasten your seatbelts because this story is one wild ride. Shirley Strawberry, a household name in American radio and television circles, is experiencing a major turmoil in her marriage. Her husband, Ernesto Williams, is embroiled in a host of criminal charges that have taken a sharp turn for the worse with the recent addition of even more serious allegations. It's an extreme predicament that is swiftly closing the doors to Williams' freedom, with the gravity of the charges hinting at a potentially long-term prison stint.
He's considered dangerous.
In the wake of these developments, the media has intensified its coverage, raking up every bit of information and relentlessly analyzing the ongoing crisis. Consequently, the events surrounding Williams have become a topic of national conversation. In the courtroom, amid serious discussions of pending warrants and assertions of Williams' dangerous character, the seriousness of the situation is laid bare. This personal crisis for Shirley is becoming public theater as her husband's misdeeds, laid out in stark legal documents, create a spectacle in front of an audience she previously addressed on her show. It's an unusual twist in the life of Strawberry, who, despite her fame as the co-host of the Steve Harvey morning show, is now in the spotlight for very different reasons. The legal trouble for Williams, Strawberry's husband, isn't a new development. However, things have spiraled rapidly since the 7th of this month, when new, more serious charges were added to his previous rap sheet. Reports reveal that the cascade of charges started with an RP case on January 8, 2019. On the same day, Williams was also charged with committing abuse of a minor.
And there's going to be numerous upcoming warrants coming in this case. I believe Roswell told us today when we checked for an update.
Adding to the catalog of crimes on that particular day, Williams faced the charge of trafficking a person. Although no minor person was specifically mentioned in this charge, the nature of the crime implies a deeply unsettling scenario in which someone is being trafficked to serve another person's perverse desires. The troubles of Ernesto Williams, Shirley Strawberry's husband, have escalated to an alarming extent, as highlighted by the final charges recorded on his file. These charges include aggravated sodomy and aggravated sexual battery, the severity of which is sure to shock many. The term S-battery refers to unlawful physical contact with another person's intimate areas without their consent. The aggravated nature of this crime implies the use of a foreign object, a detail that amplifies the egregiousness of the offense.
Before the 13th, there's going to be about 15 plus more warrants coming his direction, serious felonies in there.
In the state of Georgia, where these crimes were allegedly committed, aggravated S-battery is a heavy-duty charge. It carries penalties that range from life imprisonment to a minimum of 25 years, pushing Shirley into a future where she might not have her husband beside her, possibly forever. As this reality sinks in, it's tough not to express disbelief at Shirley's choice of a life partner, considering the horrendous charges he now faces. In an unfortunate twist, 2 of Williams' alleged victims are claimed to be his own children, as revealed by the victims themselves. The situation has warranted calls for stringent measures against Williams, like wearing an ankle monitor, restricting his internet access, and barring him from any contact with minors.
I would also request that there be an ankle monitor placed on Mr. Williams, as well as that have no internet access at all and no contact with any minors.
But the gut punch doesn't end there. Shirley Strawberry's daughter and some of her grandchildren are also named as victims, throwing a darker shadow over the charges and complicating the case even further. Additionally, Williams' rap sheet includes a previous arrest for possessing a machine handgun equipped with a silencer. A convicted felon like Williams is prohibited from owning such weapons, making this offense a grave one that will likely add to his mounting legal woes. The combination of weapons possession, especially of this caliber, and the sexual charges he's facing carries substantial consequences. His latest revelations add considerable weight to the case against him, promising substantial repercussions in the future. Ernesto Williams, already swimming against the tide due to a slew of criminal charges, hasn't given up the fight just yet. He filed a motion to suppress evidence, suggesting he's ready to battle his way through the storm. But let's rewind a bit to May 5, 2022. On that day, officers from the Atlanta Police Department reportedly spotted Williams sliding into a stolen vehicle and tailgated it to an apartment complex. The officers didn't lose sight of Williams as he ambled through the apartment complex. They closed in on him, ordering him to hit the deck. The search that followed would make any crime show fan's heart race. In the pocket of his sweatshirt, the officers discovered a Glock handgun tricked out with a machine gun conversion device, a stash of 3.5 grams of substances, and 2 key fobs. The charges against Williams, an ex-convict caught red-handed with a weapon, are pretty cut and dry. Yet he dug his heels in, determined to contest the case. However, in the end, Williams pleaded guilty. His sentence, a hefty 24 months behind bars. But that's not all. The plea agreement included a clause that any further sentences would run concurrently with this 2-year term.
Let me say this, that wasn't funny.
No. This arrangement hints at a long haul in prison for Williams, considering the serious charges recently brought against him. So it's looking more and more likely that he won't be walking out of the prison gates anytime soon. This prospect implies Williams should brace himself for an extended stay in the clink, with freedom remaining a distant dream. But recently, Ernesto Williams has found himself again in the glare of the law's spotlight.
To 57-year-old Ernesto and 46-year-old Erica Hughley allegedly promised an improved life for a cause.
He and his purported girlfriend, Erica King, stand accused of a scam that would put any con artist to shame. Together, they allegedly duped folks into coughing up cash, promising to help them scale up their businesses or hit personal targets. But Williams isn't a stranger to the inside of a courtroom. It turns out, Williams and King were living just a stone's throw away from Shirley's house in Roswell. But trouble was brewing as they started missing rent and bouncing checks, leading the Roswell police to probe their financial dealings.
Essentially position themselves as experts in the fields of business growth, development, coaching, things of that nature.
What the investigation unearthed was a credit repair scam of epic proportions. Williams and King were making false promises, pledging to boost individuals' brands, helping them attain their life goals, and even inflate their social media popularity. But after the cash exchanged hands, these services were nowhere to be seen. Over a dozen victims found themselves high and dry, suffering losses in both money and property. Officer Tim Lupo of the Roswell Police confirmed these shady dealings, highlighting the stark absence of any services rendered to their victims.
To request more and more payment, promising that those services and goods would be later provided, but never making good on those promises.
It all started with a rental fraud case on Pine Grove Road. But as the officers dug deeper, they unearthed an intricate business scheme, replete with fraud, forgery, and theft. And so, Williams and King were slapped with a volley of charges tied to their elaborate scam. Investigators have a hunch that there may be more victims out there too scared or embarrassed to step forward.
If you have had any dealings with King or Williams, call police.
Shirley's involvement with Williams was unequivocally confirmed when she penned a letter to the judge, pleading for his release as part of his bond conditions. The judge, in response, laid out specific conditions for Williams. Firstly, the bail amount reached a staggering $800,000. Secondly, Ernesto was required to stay away from his family, including his children and grandchildren. But how did it happen in the first place that Shirley got married to such a person? Flashback to 2013, Shirley and Ernesto were introduced to each other, and a proposal soon followed on the Steve Harvey morning show. In fact, it was Shirley's daughter, Sheridan, who played Cupid. And the cruel irony is that she and her children became victims of Ernesto.
For those of you that's listening, a man is walking in the room right now.
It's believed that Steve Harvey, a mutual friend, also played a part in their meeting. This suspicion was fueled by an intercepted call where Harvey's name was dropped. The call hinted at plans to provide Williams a safe haven in Harvey's alleged second home in Abu Dhabi to help him dodge prosecution.
Have a call where he was talking with his wife about going to stay in her boss's house. I'm going to leave out all the names here, as Mr. Lewis did as well.
Their friendship isn't a new development. It has spanned many years. Naturally, fans are itching to know if the Steve Harvey Morning Show will address this murky situation involving Williams. Yet, what's most striking is the radio silence from Shirley. Despite the uproar about her husband, she's keeping mum, maintaining a stoic silence. On the Steve Harvey Morning Show, it's like the topic doesn't even exist.
Sometimes when your friends or people you love are going through it and they start talking, sometimes they just want you to listen. They don't want your opinion.
No interviews, no comments. It's as if she's striving to build a wall between herself and the ongoing fiasco involving her husband. And she's not stopping at silence. Her social media has been scrubbed clean of any traces of her husband. Among the purged posts, as per Internet Whispers, was a video from 2 years ago where she aired her concerns about her husband, even alleging violence. Yet, contradicting her past allegations, she's now penning letters to the judge, pleading for her husband's release pending trial. The big question is she worried about her reputation, or does she love him enough to overlook the alleged harm to her grandchildren? An insider, requesting anonymity, had this to say: Shirley's playing the waiting game, hoping the storm will blow over so she can get back to business as usual on the show. But let's be real here. This isn't just any scandal. Its magnitude is such that it's likely to ripple through everyone's careers, affecting not just Shirley, but potentially Steve Harvey as well. But what does it all mean? Is Shirley trying to salvage her reputation, or is her love for her husband so profound that she can overlook the harm done to her grandchildren? What's your take on Shirley's silence and her attempts to disassociate from the scandal? And what about her efforts to get her husband out of jail? Do you think she's in denial, or is there more to the story than what we see? I look forward to your comments below the video. Thank you all for tuning in and joining me on this wild ride through the fascinating world of celebrity rumors. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that like button and smash that like button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest updates. Until next time, stay curious, stay entertained, and keep those comments coming. Peace out.